very much. Wow. I'm just wanting to meet you from the airport. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes, my name is Michael. I'm from the Department of Accountancy of the University of Johannesburg in South Africa. I'm talking on exploring the development of regulatory framework for crypto assets in South Africa. Okay, so I'll be considering, I will have an introduction, and I'll talk about the theory of regulation, crypto asset functions and activities, regulatory framework among countries, crypto asset regulatory framework in South Africa, where I'm coming from. And then I will also look at the, in various jurisdictions or countries throughout the world, we know regulatory framework for crypto assets has been developed. And there are some factors that have led to the development of this regulatory instrument. These include the desire to promote innovation, the threats to the country's financial system, the level of development of crypto assets, ecosystems, and the ability of regulatory agencies to develop regulatory instruments for crypto assets. Of course, we know with respect to regulation of crypto assets, we have three main approaches. Number one, some countries wait and they want to learn from other countries before they develop any regulatory framework. While some countries regulate, and we can see a case in point is countries in the European Union, United States, where we are now, Canada and Australia. They have also developed some legal systems through existing laws and financial regulations to regulate crypto assets. While some countries entirely, they ban crypto assets entirely. Countries like Algeria, Bolivia, China, and Egypt are some examples of those countries that have banned crypto assets generally. Well, in sub-Saharan Africa, where I come from, is actually the smallest region in the world when it comes to development in the area of crypto assets, because it accounts for 22.3% of the global volume of transactions in the period between July 2022 and June 2023, while the total on-chain value which the region attracted within the same period is about US dollar $117.1 billion. And we also know that cryptocurrency has become popular in some countries in sub-Saharan Africa, despite the fact that the region accounted for the lowest level of transactions in terms of volume. For example, Nigeria was ranked as number 2, Kenya ranked as number 21, Ghana as number 29, South Africa as number 31. I don't know why that is so, because I know South Africa has actually developed a kind of regulatory framework in view of the fact that there are so many traders in cryptocurrency in South Africa as at present. Another study indicated that 9.44% South Africans currently buy or trade in cryptocurrencies, with the expectation that this figure will increase by 43% by the year 2030. Learning for it. Yeah. Well, in recent years, crypto assets have experienced rapid growth and are becoming more relevant within the financial system already being regulated in various countries. Of course, some countries who are running away from it, they cannot really run forever because it's fast becoming part of the financial system in the whole world. And in response to this development, regulators and government are now considering ways and means of regulating crypto asset ecosystem in order to prevent these players from increasing risks of fraud, and scams, as well as the challenges of illegal activities such as money laundering and terrorist financing. Just have to move. Well, I've just talked about theory of regulation. I will have to summarize that, which is just a set of propositions that have been developed in order to understand the reasons for adopting the regulations and those who are instrumental to adoption of those regulations as well. Well, let's move to crystal assets and functions and activities. We have this series of crystal assets, NFT tokens, crystal security tokens, utility tokens, unbacked crystal assets, stable coins, and CBED. These are functions of this crystal asset and the activities. Because of time, we may not be able to go into that. And I have told about regulatory framework in various countries. These are examples of countries that have developed a kind of regulatory framework for crystal assets. And of course, in South Africa, just because I conclude, South Africa, the process of understanding and documenting issues relating to crystal assets was initiated in 2014 through a joint initiative of the South African Revenue Service, the South African Reserve Bank, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority in South Africa, the Financial Intelligence Center, and the National Treasury. Bodies issued a statement to the public alerting them of the inherent risk of crystal assets. Of course, we now have what we call the Intergovernmental FinTech Working Group that was established in 2016 for the purpose of gaining understanding of the ever-increasing role of fintechs and innovations in the financial sector in South Africa. And this group actually established some principles and actually led to South Africa developing some regulatory framework. And so we have the Crystal Asset Regulatory Working Group paper, which provided a roadmap for a regulatory framework for crystal asset service providers in South Africa. And they published a lot of draft document and comment publications in order to regulate crystal assets in South Africa. So now we can see that in South Africa, we have quite a lot of policies, a lot of things for regulating crystal assets. In fact, advertisement of crypto assets are also being regulated in South Africa. Then also taxation. Yes, in taxation as well, South Africa Revenue Service classify crypto assets as intangible assets. And therefore, any gains from trading in crypto assets are subject to tax, and for now, the tax rate is 45%. So conclusion, it is evident that other relevant issues with respect to crypto assets will be addressed by the Conduct of Financial Institutions Bill, which is also being finalized in South Africa, so that all other relevant issues will be captured. And in view of the growing interest in crypto assets in some countries in sub-Saharan Africa, including South Africa, the need for crypto asset laws and regulatory laws cannot be overemphasized. These laws and regulations are necessary to protect the investing public from the cyber threats and volatility in the crypto asset market, as well as ensuring the stability and growth of crypto asset sector. South Africa is one of the countries that have taken the bull by its horn through the enactment of laws and development of regulatory framework. Thank you so much.